Hello everyone, welcome back, and to my new viewers, welcome. We have to all admit that there is a lot happening in the world right now, and that means that many of our reporters, especially in the mainstream media, don't go into the detail behind some of these stories. So when I saw this interview, I knew that I had to just go and look at a couple of things, because the blatant finger pointing and lack of accountability is just, I'm gobsmacked. I can't believe that this is acceptable.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, Northwest MEC for Education, Viola Motsumi, made news headlines recently. This after she missed an inquiry by the South African Human Rights Commission into scholar transport challenges in the province, especially in rural communities. MEC Motsumi attended the Special Olympics World Winter Games in Italy while the inquiry was ongoing. She says she did not receive an invitation from the Human Rights Commission. MEC Motsumi faces the nation tonight. Good evening, MEC. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. So, as you've heard, you're being accused of skipping the Human Rights Commission inquiry on scholar transport to go and attend the National Special Olympics in Italy. And of course, this was at a cost of 1 million, despite your province not having any participant in the Olympics. Just explain to us what exactly happened there.
Okay, no, thank you very much for the opportunity. And also let me take this opportunity to extend my greetings to all the viewers who are currently watching this interview. I think, Mfundo, let's start where you indicated that this particular trip, actually, it has costed the province or the department more than 1 million. Just to clarify that particular issue, to indicate that it is not true, we had 6 delegations to Italy where they were representing the province. And in terms of the costs, it is less than 1 million. According to the SCM processes or procurement processes, anything beyond 1 million, it must go for a tender. So the whole trip, it did not actually cost 1 million. But
what MEC Viola has just admitted on camera is that, no, I know how to snip the system. We would never let this go to tender because that's going to take too long. We're just going to keep it under the tender amount of R1 million, and then I only need 1 signature. She admitted that she knows how to snip the system, and she's done it on camera. Wow.
Just for clarity on that point, then do you know at this point how much it cost?
From where I'm sitting, the report that I received from the Department of Education for the 6 delegation that represented the province there, it was close to 900,000, around that particular figure.
So,
wow, it's 900,000. So you're still 90% closer to the bill we're disputing than you are further away from it. 90% closer. You have an irregular spend of 2 billion. So, yeah, I guess, what is 900,000? These are the sorts of standards we expect the youth to look up to and emulate for the future. You're a leader, Viola, to the young people of South Africa.
There were 6 representatives who were representing the department in Italy, where all the procurement was, that particular procurement, it was not 1 million, or it was not even over 1 million.
So 6 representatives, meaning there were 5 officials and yourself as the MEC, or this now also includes the Sports, Arts and Culture MEC as well?
No. It is not including the MEC of Sports, Culture, Sports and Recreation.
So, because the MEC of Sports and Culture, I can completely understand why that team would go. But, so you spent an additional 900,000?
This was taking place at a time when the Human Rights Commission was dealing with a critical inquiry around scholar transport issues, something that speaks directly to your portfolio. And that is the kind of inquiry you most certainly would want to prioritize. The question many have been asking is why you would miss that specific inquiry and find yourself in Italy watching the Olympics when there is no participant from the Limpopo province.
What she is about to say It's horrendous. It's nauseating to see her say these words on camera when I literally have proof in her audit report that she is reporting on scholar transport, moving 22 million rand out of that particular budget for some or other budget. And one point, which I'll show you, don't worry, Viola, I have all of it here. I'm going to show you. Some of it was used for furniture for a district office. Kids have died on scholar transport, and you moved 22 million rand out of that budget, which is in your audit report. Plus, there have been numerous news articles prior to November 2024 talking about this. So no, Viola, you knew this was an issue. You knew this had gone to the Human Rights Council. You prioritized a trip to Italy over the safety of your scholars, preventing 9,000 of them not being able to reach school for a year. You are leadership to this country. MEC, member of the Executive Council of Education. Well, you ignored 9,000 kids to go overseas.
Mfundo, let me start by indicating that I did not receive any invitation from South African Human Rights Commission. If I had that particular invitation, obviously, I would have actually prioritized the commission.
I would have actually prioritized. Sweetheart, it's the South African Human Rights Council. No offense, but we would all prioritize that. That would be all of our priorities. In fact, I don't even work for the government, and I would make it a priority. Are you kidding me? I would have actually prioritized that. Wow. Did you know you are facing potential imprisonment for missing this meeting?
Because this particular commission, remember, it was dealing with issues that actually are challenging my department, which is scholar transport, which is something that is the core mandate or the function of this scholar transport does not even belong to the Department of Education.
That is a lie. Either you don't understand the roles and responsibilities of an MEC, or you're okay morally lying on camera. I'm super curious which it is, Viola. And you know what? Either which way, it's disgusting.
That is why I'm forever frustrated, not having powers actually even to intervene where there are challenges of scholar transport. I can confirm before the media here that I would have prioritized that particular commission. But
I would have prioritized, like I said. You had better have had, but you didn't. Regardless of the fact that you've reported it in your audit reports for 2 consecutive financial years, and there are media reports dating back to 2023 about transport. So don't talk to me about prioritizing nothing. The only thing you're prioritizing is the stamps in your passport on the taxpayer's dime. It is abhorrent.
But by the way, let me indicate the processes. That was an official trip. Yes, I was invited. I did not invite myself or the department to the Special Olympics. Mm-hmm. And I must indicate that as the Department of Education, because I've realized that there is a serious confusion to say that actually I was not supposed to be in that particular trip to Italy where there were Special Olympics. When it comes to the Department of Education, like I've said even before, our core mandate is to deliver quality education to our learners.
To give a quality education to our learners. Are you not ashamed of yourself? I'm like, what human being? Because we all have souls, but what human, how greedy are you that you literally said quality education is a priority, not for 9,000 students and all the other students who got injured because of the lack of transport. And honestly, Viola, does it matter whose responsibility it is? If you are the head of education in the Executive Council, you have more than enough sway. Does it matter if it is not your mandate and we must now listen to the processes and policies? No, sweetie. People in your care are dying and being injured and not receiving an education because you cannot work in partnership with. It's a dual responsibility, which also means good business ethic is that you hold each other accountable. This pointing fingers on live TV, where's the shame? I can't.
But it must also be noted that as the department, we are having inclusive education, which also includes sports, meaning that it is also our responsibility as the Department of Education that our learners are exposed or are subjected to sports. Remember, it does not mean necessarily that it's automatic that our learners are automatically talented when it comes to issues of curriculum. That's where those who are still lacking in terms of issues of curriculum, if you give them an opportunity or you expose them to sports, they ended up being players playing for Kaizer Chiefs or your Orlando Pirates and so on. So I wanted to clarify that particular part because
you are clinging on the dreams of the 9,000 kids who couldn't come to school, who couldn't play soccer, who will never be a Kaizer Chief player. Dreaming big dreams here, Viola. Dreaming big dreams. But you have some bills to pay, my girl. Also, if you want your students to be Kaizer Chief players, I recommend you start spending more than 5 million rand a year for the entire province on sporting equipment. I mean, abhorrent, shocking, disgusting. So don't come to me about dreams of Kaizer Chiefs.
There's this thing to say that I was not supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. By the way, the invite was influenced by what? When you talk about Special Olympics, there is where learners with special needs from special schools, and special schools belongs to the Department of Education, where they are participating. You are 100% correct to say that there were 6 learners actually from Gauteng who were actually representing our country, yes, in those Special Olympics. But the reason behind my invite, it was very clear and straightforward to say that MEC, next year, 2022, Limpopo was hosting National Special Olympics.
I just want to clarify this, and I'm going to clarify it for you again and again and again. You're hosting the Special Olympics 2026 for South Africa. So again, I recommend you up your sports and recreation budget of 5 million. I also suggest that you chat to South Africa Special Olympics, because the last time they published anything on their website, I think was 2018. Their last annual report was 2021, and they have 2 separate websites.
Therefore, for 2026, for Summer Games, you will be hosting officially the National Olympics, where other provinces, you'll be hosting other provinces. Yeah. And meaning that as the host, it is your responsibility, obviously, because these particular learners with special needs, by the way, I'm talking about learners with disability, they must form part, it's automatic, they have to form part of the team that will be representing our province. Now is the responsibility of making sure that you provide them with the necessary resources.
Okay. So essentially it was for, pardon me for interjecting there, just in the interest of time. So essentially the Northwest Education portfolio went there specifically for research and benchmarking purposes. Granted.
But I cannot believe that we accept this level of reporting, benchmark and reporting purposes, at 900,000 rand, when we haven't tabled a budget, you have irregular spend as an education department just for Northwest Province, an irregular spend of 2 billion. That's not including unauthorized, and it's not including wasteful. Reporting and benchmarking purposes. Madam Reporter, you need to review your standards, or you're just a face behind a machine. Because then I feel like this, whatever we call news in this country, needs to come with a disclaimer. Please note, this script and questions were supplied by the person I'm about to interview. I mean, wow.
But I want to take you back now to the specific inquiry. You say you didn't receive an invitation. In hindsight, though, don't you believe that some within your office would or should have been looking out for such inquiries that speak directly to your portfolio? To say, if anything, they should have been the ones to alert you that there's going to be a 3-day inquiry around scholar transport challenges, and we think that our portfolio should make submissions. It would be quite beneficial. Don't you think that somebody should have noted or been constantly looking out for such?
It is a matter of the procedure. When we talk of commission, they are the same as portfolio committees where we are accountable to. Issues of administration are being dealt by the office of the HOD. It will depend on the commission whether they want the MEC to be part of the delegation.
They do, Viola. They do want you to be part of the delegation. They sent you an invite. And I'm going to take it that considering all the lies up until this point, this is also a lie.
Or only the office of the HOD must be part of the delegation. A practical example must be given. By the way, this commission took 3 days.
Yes.
From day 1, the HOD was expected there together with our delegation, and day 2. And then day 3 is where I was actually informed by the HOD during the commission. By the way,
look at that sign. You're hosting National Special Olympics, and your sign, I don't even know how to describe that sign. Like, what is happening with that? Wow, and that's the sign for community safety and transport management. Like, I'm going to cry. Like, this is so disgusting. Holy moly.
By the way, I was informed during the commission when there was a concern raised regarding the MEC not attending this important commission. That's where the HOD actually communicated with me to check whether did I receive the invitation or did I submit the apology. And I did indicate to the HOD that I've checked with my office, because you are right, my office is responsible for communications or whatsoever. But unfortunately, from my verification, from my office, the office did not receive any communication or any communique from the commission. And by the way, still on that, remember when you depart to another country, an official trip, obviously, processed or authorized by the Premier. Immediately after the authorization, I must indicate that there was an acting MEC that was appointed to act as the MEC of the Department of Education. If I had, for example,
Viola, as adults, we all do that when we leave our job, and not when we go out of the country when we go on leave. That's standard practice.
For example, that particular communication, I was definitely going to make sure that the acting MEC also forms part of the commission. Like she does, there are some activities that she was supposed to attend.
All right, MEC, thank you very much for joining us on the program this evening.
Yes, thank you, MEC, for joining us. Yes, I am wearing a completely different outfit. I'm recording this ending on a completely different day. So that story is a prime example of how we like to treat the children in our country and why education is failing us, which is also, consequently, the future workforce. So by not paying attention to the bare minimum, the absolute basics, instead we're dreaming big dreams about Special Olympics. We have Pupils enduring 20-kilometer walks every day just to get to school. And especially with the interview showing a complete lack of accountability. It's completely unacceptable. And the fact that Viola had the gall to sit on live TV and give us those responses to what is obviously a much bigger issue. So my advice is that you focus on the bare minimum for now. You step outside of your box and work in partnership to solve this problem. Because regardless of whether or not it is your mandate as an executive council meeting, you have every responsibility to make sure that this problem is solved. Okay, all, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. I think it highlights how little information and research our media does before putting people on live TV. Our media should be holding these people accountable. So I'm here to show you the other side of the story. You know, there's 3 sides to a story: your side, my side, and the truth. Perception matters. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. It's totally free for you. Really helps get my channel out there. And obviously, always appreciate the support and all the comments. Love you guys. Have a good day. Over and out.